morning. We're going to go ahead and start on our lesson for today. We're on Module 5, Fractions, Lesson 4. We're going to be decomposing fractions into sums of smaller unit fractions using tape diagrams. Somebody tell me what decompose means. Okay, Helena?
Break stuff up into smaller pieces.
What kind of pieces that is? What's the key word on fractions?
Equal pieces.
Equal pieces. So we're still looking at our standards. We're decomposing the fractions, and then we're going to understand that a fraction is a multiple, just like we did yesterday when we broke them apart and looked at how Amanda Bean would do them. She turned to 4th grade. Okay. So our objective today, you're going to be able to decompose a fraction into sums of fractions of smaller units and understand a fraction as a multiple of 1b. In other words, you're going to break apart a fraction, as Zane said, into equal parts using smaller parts, kind of equivalent fractions like we've been talking about, and understand, like Amanda Bean, how a fraction is a multiple of a number. Let's take a look at the first part. Okay, our fluency. We're going to break apart this fraction. So somebody take a look. Now this is my time to do this, so I'm going to be kind of talking and expect some answers. Bless you. What is our fraction that we're showing up here? Somebody raise your hand. Courtney.
2/3.
Okay. What is 1 unit worth? What is this 1 unit worth?
1 whole.
The whole thing is worth 1 whole. But what is this 1 piece? Kurt? 1/3. 1/3. Okay. So the value of this is 1/3. Okay. Courtney just said 2/3 is shaded. Okay. So what is the value of the shaded part as a sum of unit fractions? And remember yesterday we talked about unit fractions being 1 as the numerator. So how would we add this like we did yesterday? Somebody said.
1/3 plus 1/3.
1/3 plus 1/3 equals what?
Equals 2/3.
2/3. Okay. Raise your hand if you're okay with that. It's kind of confused a little bit. You're okay? Okay, Julia, what's confusing?
We can add down to, see how they make it 2, but you got to add 2 bottom.
Okay, now remember the bottom number is your denominator. That's how many equal pieces we have. And then 2 of these are shaded, so we're going to break them apart and say this is 1/3 plus 1/3 gives us 2 that are shaded. Does that make a little more sense? Okay, well we're going to continue working on this. All right. So what would we, the second part we talked about yesterday, instead of doing the repeated addition and we're doing multiplying, how many times would we multiply 1/3 to get 2/3?
2 times.
2 times? So 2 times 1/3 would give me the 2/3? Okay. So we're going to complete this number sentence. Let's try another one. Let's break this one apart. Let's decompose it. Myra, if I'm going to decompose it into unit fractions, how would I break this up? Go ahead and draw. Remember how we did yesterday. And I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. And this is 1 whole. How would I add these together as units? How many do we have here shaded? Okay, let's just say 1/8. Our whole is 8. Can we do another 8? Another 8, another 8, another 8, and another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One too many. All right. So if we have 1 too many, let's go 1/8, and 1/8, and 1/8, and 1/8, and 1/8. Okay? So we have 5/8. Let's write a multiplication sentence for that. Kylie?
5 times 1/8.
So we counted 1/8 5 times. And like we said before, glass half empty, glass half full. Depends on how you look at it. Okay. So on your whiteboards, go ahead and get your whiteboards out. Draw me a fraction of 3/4. You ready? Go ahead and give me a model of 3/4. Go ahead and label it as a whole. Partition it into your equal parts. So we label this as 1. What does partitioning mean?
Breaking the whole into equal parts.
Breaking it into equal parts. So you've broken this one into equal parts. You shaded, how many?
3.
Okay, so what would one piece be? What is this worth? What does it say?
1/4.
1/4. So the value of each one of these is 1/4. Okay. Let's erase. Let's try another one. Let's try 4/6. Give me a hole. Draw your tape diagram. Why do you want to label this as one hole? What's the purpose in that? Someone tell me the purpose in labeling it as 1. Andrew, why do we put this as 1?
Because that's the hole that you partition it into equal parts.
So you need to let somebody know that this is the hole. If you don't, it may be more than a hole, correct? Okay. So we shaded 1, 2, 3, 4. Now write me an addition sentence of how you came up with 4/6. You're doing it. I see several of you doing it. So give me the units when you add the units together. Someone tell me. Elena.
1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6.
Okay. Can somebody tell me a multiplication sentence for the same thing? Hercules. 4 times 1/6. Perfect. 4 times 1/6. Again, different way to look at it. Very good. Okay, erase. Now, our next part of it, we're going to be practicing a little bit of equivalent fractions. Okay. You don't need your board for the moment. Kylie, go ahead and erase. We're just going to count by 1s to 6. That's all. Count 1 to 6 by 1. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we're going to count by 6 to 6. You don't need your mark. Just put those aside. But we're going to start at 0, 6. So say this is, I'm going to write it as we say it. 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6. So what does 6, 6 equal? Oh. So it's equal to 1. Okay, let's try this again. Now we're going to count by 6 again, but this time when you get to 1, instead of saying 6, 6, we're just going to say 1 whole. Oops, sorry about that. All right. There we go. Okay. So we're going to count by 6 again. This time say 1 when you get to 6, 6. All right, start at 0 again. 0, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 1. 1. Oh, caught some of them. Okay. Well, let's try another one. Except we're going to count by thirds to 6 thirds, starting at 0. Okay, we good? Count by thirds to 6/3. Start at 0. 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. Stop. Now, we're going to do this again. We're just going to start at 0. Now, when we get to here, instead of saying 3/3 and 6/3, we're going to say the whole number. Okay, so ready? 0, 1/3, 2/3, 1, 4/3, 5/3, 2. 2. What did we say yesterday when we talked about 6/3? What did we say our fraction bar in 5th grade would be? Division. So isn't this the same thing as 6 divided by 3? What's 6 divided by 3?
2.
2. Oh. That's why you said over here a 2? Because 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now let's look at your application problem that we started this morning. It kind of ties into what we're doing. So let me get mine. And let's check. And this goes along with our lesson and what we've been learning for the last week. Real life, isn't it? Whoever helps mom, she only has a 1/4 of a cup measuring cup. But you're going to double. What does double mean? 2 times. So we're going to make 2 times the chocolate chip cookies because you're really hungry. Now, how many times will you have to fill the 1/4 of a cup with milk? Are you helping Mama cook?
3/4.
Well, let's say we need 1/4, 3/4. How many times? 2 times. So let's look at this one. Let's just do the whole first. Oh, I love it when eyes are up here. So we have 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4. Is that 3/4? So let's fill out the other. But you've got to do 3/4 twice. So here's one whole. Here's another 1/4. Here's another 1/4. So what you've done is 3/4 here and 3/4 here. How many fourths did you count? You counted 6/4. So you labeled yours 6 times 1/4 equals 6/4. And I know everyone in this room wrote a sentence. You did. I know a couple of you got here late. That's fine. All right. Sasha will need to fill the 1/4 of the cup with milk 6 times. I know. Thank you. All right. So let's move on a little bit to what we're going to be learning today. Just kind of set your application problem aside. I'll take that up later. Now, a little bit different today. We've been working a little bit on equivalent fractions, understanding that things can be the same but still different. Okay. Just focus up here, put your markers down, and let's just take a look. Just focus. Then we're going to do one on our own. Use a tape diagram to represent the decomposition of 1/3 as the sum of unit fractions. A lot of words in it. What does sum mean? Add. Okay. Decomposition, you just said you're going to break something apart. So we're going to label this as 3 equal pieces, this one whole. Everyone agree? Okay. So this is 1/3. This is 1/3. This is 1/3. Now we're going to break each piece, Charlie, into halves. So we're just kind of split this up. Partition this one. Okay. Now, look at our equal pieces. Did they change?
Yes.
How many equal pieces do I have now? 6. So this is 1/6.
Yes.
This is 1/6. Now, 1/3 is going to equal this 6 and this 6. So this is going to equal 2/6. Now how we came about this, let's see. Since we're decomposing, we took 1/3 equals 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 2/6. Agree? Okay. Take a moment and look at it. I don't want you. Okay. I want you down. There we go. All right. Okay, look. So you just created some equivalent fractions, didn't you? You just said 1/3 is the same thing as 2/6. Can we break these down even further?
Yes.
Okay. Any rule that says we can't?
No.
No. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at another one. What if I broke these up even further? What if I said I broke this up and this up? How many equal pieces do I have now? Oh, somebody's counting. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Well, we're still at 1/3. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. So 1/3 will equal how many twelfths? 1/3 is going to equal 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12. What's another way of saying 1/12 and 1/12?
12 times 1/3.
1/3 equals how many twelfths? 4. Okay. Now, kind of something new, our first day to do this, so let's just concentrate. Okay. Let's look at it a different way. I love it when you're paying attention like this. So 1/3 equals 4/12. Same amount. Why do we know that they're equal?
Because since you have the tape diagram and you labeled the 1/3, you know where the 1/3s are. So when you look at it, you can count that 1/3 box and you can count up.
You're looking. It takes up the same space, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same amount of space. All right. But you said 1/3 also equals 2/6. They're all equal the same space. Just kind of seeing that a little bit now. No one? Everyone? A little bit? Okay. So that's excellent on that. Let's try. We just did this one, so let's look at how it broke it up. Let's try this one, 2/6. So we're going to go. Okay, let's try this one. Into how many pieces? 6. Okay. Same thing we just did. So this whole equals 1. So this is, how much right here?
1/6.
1/6. Okay. This is 1/6. This is 1/6. 1/6. 1/6. Okay, and we're going to break these up. So maybe this makes a little more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is 1/6. But it's 2/12. This is 1/12 and this is 1/12. So there's a lot of ways we can break these up now. All right. So we're going to take a look. We're going to challenge ourselves and see if we can't do a little bit of this. Now, when you go back, what's the main thing you need to do on your work? Look at what? Your denominator and equal parts. Okay. Denominator and equal parts. We're going to do the first one together. So open up your workbook. We're on page 12. Now, they gave you a couple of samples. And again, we've been kind of doing a little bit of this along as we've been working. I'm sorry. Page 14. Page 14. So we've been doing this all along, really. You just didn't know that we were doing this. When we've been talking each day, we've been talking about equivalent fractions. We've been looking at models. So you have been doing this. Okay. We're on page 14. And I love how they broke this one first one up for you. It says the total length of each tape diagram represents 1. I know you have your highlighter, so highlight decompose. Decompose. What kind of unit fractions? Shaded. As a sum, I know you put a plus sign above that, of smaller unit fractions in at least 2 different ways. Let's just look at the first one, Raylan. A. What is your denominator right here?
2.
So they split this up into 2 equal parts, correct? Then they took the half and put it in half. So now what's your denominator? How many equal pieces do you have now? 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So they said, okay, well, you broke this down into fourths. So 1/2 equals 1/4 plus 1/4. But another person looks at it, Andrew, as, well, let me break it up into 8 equal pieces. Let's pretend this is your candy bar. You have this candy bar and you have 4 pieces, but somebody else, you got some more friends coming in, don't you? Let's say, I want a piece too. But now we have 8 people. So how are you going to do that? We have 1/2. Here comes some more people, so let's just break this half into more pieces, equal pieces. So now we have 1/8 and 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 1/8. That's our whole lick. So we took these 4 pieces and we broke them in half again. Now we have 1/2 equals 1/8 and 1/8 and 1/8 and 1/8. Let's take it right on their own for just once. Let's just see. Don't panic yet. Let's just take B and let's just do B first. Okay, go ahead and try the first one on B. Elena, I know you're working on it. And for those that are trying number 2, it doesn't tell you how many to break it up, does it? You're going to break up your own way. Okay. You good. This is first one's 1/4. So this is 1/4, and you can break it up in 2 other ways. So it's how you can balance it equal. That's all you need to focus on. And some of you are a little confused, I think, on this one. It just tells you to break it up. It doesn't tell you what you get to break it up in your own way, don't you? So some of you may have actually 2 different numbers. So on C and D, break this one apart. Okay, so this is 1/4, but can you break these apart? Okay, instead of saying 1/4 again, you break this one. What if you broke these in half?
Be the same.
Okay, but instead of saying 1/4, it would be what? Then you can take this one and do it another way. So what they're wanting you to do is, what if you broke each one of these in half? What if you broke this one into 3 equal pieces? So you're changing those 2 pictures up. Those 2 models are different. So it started out as 1/4, but now what is your number?
2/8.
Okay, exactly. It's exactly what they want. You ready? Okay. All right, we're finishing up. We're going to go ahead and do our little student debrief. So let's take a moment to review what we've done today. We have, all the way back, we started out today with what? What was our goal today?
Partition fractions by adding more fractions.
Oh, by adding a different way, basically creating equivalent fractions. That's great. We went back and we decomposed fractions into a sum of fractions, which is what you just said. Perfect answer. And we started looking at how they are multiples of each other. So at the end, are you able to break a fraction apart into equal parts? I saw some of you going ahead and trying the challenging questions. I like that. You're attempting. And we were understanding a fraction as a multiple of 1, the 1 unit. Okay. Any questions? Who had a little bit of difficulty understanding how to split them up? Okay. But did your brain start seeing a little bit how you can take one piece and break it up into different pieces? Okay. Because that's what we were doing. We were taking, for example, this. This is what we started with today. And some of you picked it up really well. You said, okay, we have thirds here, but why don't I break these up even more? I still have equal pieces. We went over this part. Let's just say we had 1/3 here. And we broke ours up into how many pieces now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 thirds.
Oh.
9 thirds.
So we broke them up into 9 equal pieces. This is 1/9, 1/9, 1/9. How many 9s made 1/3?
3.
So 1/3 equals 3 9ths. And you know I hate the word butterfly. We've already talked about it. Why would you have to say I butterflied anything when you can come over here and say I can prove it? I can draw a model. Or multiply. I like that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start our exit tickets. Let's see what you learned today, what we have problems on, and what we need to start next week. I'm going to have Kylie, if you'll go ahead and start on the back. And we'll go ahead and pass out your exit ticket. That's okay. Put your name on it, today's date. We're going to take about 5 minutes. Take your time, think about what we've learned today, and we'll go over it step by step. Once you get yours, you can go ahead and begin.